Hello, my name is Valerie Charlin. I'm the health coach here at Charlin Health and Neurology. And today I want to share some information on you with you to how to manage your stress. I was just reading that 80% of the patients that go into primary care docs have some sort of stress-related symptoms. And we find that true here at a neurology practice as well, especially in functional medicines, because we are what we eat, how we move, how we manage our emotions, our relationships, and how we manage our stress. So it's a constant balance every single day to keep our physical, biological body in check. And managing stress is a huge part of it. I use a system called HeartMath, a biofeedback system, so we can actually go in and look at what stress looks like. It gives you a representation so you can see from start to today on how well you are managing your stress. Because when we say we're under stress, all we know is that it feels bad, and maybe we're not sleeping, we can't think clearly, we have symptoms, but what is it exactly inside of our body? Stress definitely can affect your energy levels and your ability to think, and really disturbs your sleep and reaction times. A big part of stress is how much resilience we have. So our resilience is our capacity to recover from stress or challenges. So it's important that we build up a really good stress reserve. So we're basically just energy systems, and it's like a battery. We want to build up our resilience and have a really good, strong battery with us. And there's different kinds of resilience. Definitely, we know physical resilience. Can you run up the stairs or not? Can you take a walk? Do you feel good when you get out of bed? And your mental resilience. Are you able to handle stressful situations or difficult people? Can you focus? And then there's emotional flexibility. Are we emotionally intelligent with people? Can we tell what's going on with others? Do we have a positive outlook? Are we able to regulate our emotions, or do we let our emotions control us? And even spiritual flexibility. Do we know who we are and where we are in the universe? And are we tolerant to the beliefs of others? I'm going to talk to you about depleting and renewing emotions that have a direct correlation to how we develop our resilience. It's all about energy. So we have constant energy expenditures in all of those areas. And it can lead to burnout. We can make errors at work. We can start having health challenges and diminished performance. So this is the depletion to renewal grid that HeartMath uses. So I think of this as like a cell phone battery. So over on the left-hand side, if I have apps open, I haven't plugged it in, my battery drains, right? So that's an indication that you have high cortisol levels. You're over in the sympathetic side, and you just don't have any juice in your battery. So when you pick up the phone to call for help, you don't get the help. So that's much like having really low stress resilience. You don't recover. You can't get help to take care of yourself. On the other hand, with renewing emotions, you can charge up that battery. Unplug the phone, turn off the apps, or plug the phone in, turn off the apps, charge up that battery, and then our response is completely different, right? We're on the parasympathetic side, our heart rate lowers, we're more relaxed. And when we pick up the phone, we can get help, we can take care of ourselves. So on that depleting emotion side, there's some very serious consequences to always being in a state of fear and frustration, always being angry and impatient, because it just releases a lot of stress hormones over on that sympathetic side. And then it leads to reducing your muscle mass. Brain cells are not reproducing. We all complain about our memory. You may be aging faster than you want to. complaining about your mental function and the way that you perform in the world. On the other hand, on the renewing emotion side, that can increase your longevity, definitely increase your resilience to hard things. Your memory can improve, your problem solving. You notice that your emotional intuition increases and you just perform better in your life. So some of the emotions that create coherence are what you would expect: care, love, compassion, appreciation, particularly gratitude, being grateful for the life that you have, being kind to others, being enthusiastic when you wake up in the morning, wake up with zest and ready to take on the world. So it takes a lot of management to take care of all of this energy. So we want high resilience for optimal performance so that we can have a fulfilling life and take care of ourselves. I'm going to explain to you now the physiology of coherence and optimal functioning. So the word coherence is a state in which the heart, mind, and emotions are aligned and in sync. This can help your immune system and your hormonal system and just give you a better state of energetic coordination. So back in science class, you know what the autonomic nervous system is. It's the big overseer of the body, all of the hormones and neurotransmitters and just all of the, how the factory is operating in there. So if you're over on that sympathetic side, you can imagine that you're running from a lion, you're stressed, you're trying to save your life. And then when that happens, when you feel stressed, when you are running, things, saliva and secretions, you dilate your bronchioles, your heartbeat speeds up, but your gut slows down. You don't need your gut working and getting nutrition when you're running from a lion. But after you escape from the lion, like the zebra escapes and he's feeding in a green meadow somewhere, he's over on the parasympathetic side, right? He's calm. He's not running from a lion. So now your eyesight goes back to normal, your lungs go back to normal, your heartbeat slows down, and the vagal nerve lets peristalsis start working so the gut can bring nutrition in, the microbiome is working, your colon and bladder work well. So that's the rest and renew side of the autonomic nervous system. So HeartMath uses language called the heart-brain communication. So the heart is its own complex nervous system, or we call it the heart-brain. It's interesting to note that when you're in your mom's uterus, developing as a fetus, that the heartbeat shows up before the brain develops, which is interesting. You would think that you would need the brain to tell the heart to develop, but that doesn't seem to be the case. The heart is a little machine and it just beats. It makes energy. In fact, you can see an electromagnetic field around your body from this energy that we can see on spectrograms. It's a real energy. So patterns in the neural signals from the heart especially affect the brain centers involved in perception and emotional experience and self-regulation. So you've heard of HRV, or heart rate variability. You might not know a lot about it. If you were an athlete, you know something about it. You may have a smartwatch that tells you that it measured your HRV, and you look at a number and you're not really sure what that number means. So here's just a very simple explanation. Every single heartbeat has a different timing between it. Every single one is completely different. So if you're running up the stairs and you're a really healthy individual, the heart beats really fast and pumps really hard. And when you come down the steps, it goes back into normal rhythm. And that's a high heart rate variability because you went from very strong and fast to normal rhythm. On the other hand, if you're ill, older, out of shape, You try to run up the stairs and the heart struggles to pump. It's not pumping very fast. And you come back down and you're huffing and puffing and the heart just can't get back into normal rhythm the way it should. So low heart rate variability. So low heart rate variability is poor health. And a high heart rate variability is that higher health. That's why it's important to do those HIIT exercises where you do short periods of really intense aerobic exercise to get the heart to pump really hard and teach it to recover. Now, that being said, look at this timing between the heartbeats. This timing between the heartbeats actually shows up on a graph to make a pattern. That's what the scientists at HeartMath discovered. And it made two kinds of patterns. It made an incoherent pattern. Makes me think of trying to learn a standard transmission in the parking lot where you're 2 feet trying to operate it. The car's very jerky. And that's sort of how we live our lives. We got foot on the gas pedal and the foot on the brake at the same time. It's just very incoherent. And we have emotions like frustration, agitation, fear, worry, constantly ruminating, being up in the middle of the night ruminating. So we have this incoherent message in the heart space. Now, on the other hand, if you choose to feel gratitude, joy, some of those renewing energetic emotions like zest, then you come up with this coherent pattern, this lovely coherent pattern that the heart is happy and it's going to tell the brain that you're happy. So the biofeedback teaches you to establish a coherent baseline. So these patterns produced by the heart are always monitored by the amygdala, and the amygdala is the ancient part of the brain. So thousands of years ago, when we were very primitive animals, we were wired genetically for two things: to stay alive and to reproduce. So that amygdala is two little almond-shaped things. It's constantly monitoring for danger. Its whole world is finding danger. So if we show these anxiety patterns, the amygdala is going to see that and it's going to react accordingly. On the other hand, if you're coherent and the heart sends a message up to the brain, the thalamus, or the switching station of the brain, makes a determination whether he's going to send the message to the amygdala or the frontal lobe of the brain, the cortex, which is the newer part of the brain that wrapped around that amygdala as the species developed. If you're safe, you're incoherent, then the message gets to the frontal cortex and it says, oh, the body's safe. We can get about business of resting this body and renewing the cells. I kind of think of the frontal cortex as a CEO of a huge factory of 1 trillion workers. And he said, we're going to get this factory back online. So he starts sending out all sorts of messages. He might send a message to the hormones to create oxytocin so that you have a natural pain reliever so you don't ache so bad in your body. You may send messages of DHEA, which is the youth hormone, the precursor to your sex hormones, that actually in turn turn into neurotransmitters in your brain like serotonin, the feel-good drug, or GABA that helps you sleep, or dopamine to motivate you. So the research that HeartMath used to find this baseline was with SWAT team officers or even soldiers in Afghanistan. And they found if they would measure their baseline hormones, the stress hormones, and then they measured them again during a very stressful situation. So maybe this is a family violence situation that can go south at any minute and the officer is very stressed. We found that by measuring them later on, that those levels stayed high for minutes, hours, sometimes days and weeks. By teaching them to bring their body into coherence, are actually able to get those hormone levels down back into baseline within minutes. So here was at 11:44, high stress. 10 minutes later, we're back down to baseline. We also did research with students, and we taught them coherence. They would start out very incoherent, and with the breathing and the heart focused emotion code, we were able to get them over into coherence. Here's a representation of that field around our body. You can actually see this field on a spectrogram. And you really can notice it with people yourself. You may not be able to see it, but you can definitely feel it. You've walked up against someone before and it felt unsafe, or just a feel that you didn't want to be close to. You just had an intuition that something was off. So that was an incoherent field. But yet you meet people that you like them immediately, and you just feel like you want to lean in and hug, and that's someone that has a very coherent field. That being said, some of the most coherent fields are man's best friend, the dog. This is Josh, one of the HeartMath scientist's sons, and his dog Mabel. We did experiments where, I say we, I wasn't there, but I'm part of HeartMath. We check stress levels on Mabel and the boy, and then when they went in a room together, both of them went into heart coherence. And then when they separated, both the boy and his dog became incoherent again. Same thing happens with moms and babies. Their heartbeats become aligned. So here's a representation of the feedback that you will see and I will see if you are doing the HeartMath coherence training. So the green is incoherence. So this person does it, looks like she's doing it once a day. I just ask you to do it 3 to 5 minutes twice a day usually, to train your body to be in the green. So with breathing and placing those renewing emotions, you train your body to be in the green. And the more you train it, the more you practice it. It's just like playing the piano or anything else you're trying to learn. The more you practice, the more automatic it becomes, and the more your subconscious learns it. And then just by taking a breath and bringing yourself to those renewing emotions, you're able to put yourself in coherence. And then you have feedback to see how you're doing. We just use a simple little device called the Inner Balance, and this is a Bluetooth unit, or this one plugs into the iPhone, or there is one that plugs into the Android. We also have one called an M-Wave that hooks up to the computer. It has a little ear device that clips right onto your earlobe where your earring would be, and that measures your heartbeats. And then, of course, the Bluetooth or the wire takes it back to the phone, and then you're able to see a screen similar to this. So to kind of wrap it around, it's important that we find ourselves in a coherent place. Out of incoherence into coherence. It helps it with the people around us. It helps it with our own body. It helps our mental attitude, our emotions, our relationships. So right now, I would just wanted to do a little heart coherence, heart-based breathing technique to show you how easy it is. So just settle yourself on your sits bones with a tall spine. Slightly tuck your chin so you have an open airway. Rotate your clavicles back. And then breathe in through your nose, filling your chest and breath, belly. And just let the air seep out. Maybe you count to 5 as you breathe in, and 5 as you breathe out. Just find a pattern that you can sustain to make the breaths deep. And then place your attention on the area of your heart space, just on your heart right there. And as you breathe in, just imagine that you're breathing air right into that heart space and out through your heart space. And keep the even breathing going. Inhale and breathing out. And I like to imagine when I breathe in, I could place a renewing emotion there like gratitude, and may place a person or something I'm very grateful for, my husband, my parents, my pets, or maybe a place that I find very peaceful. We have a pond I love to go to. You just find something that gives you that nice renewing emotion. As you breathe into that, feel the emotion, concentrate on that scene. And as you breathe out, just soften your body, soften your temples, your jaws. Experience the emotion. And breathe out, soften your shoulders and your hands. Breathe into the emotion. And soften your hips and thighs. Breathe into that gratitude. And just soften your feet. Keep a deep breath going. And just imagine as you're breathing in with that renewing gratitude or love or excitement, that the message from your heart goes up your spinal column to the thalamus. And the message is, she's safe. She's safe. So we can go about the business of repairing the body. We can go into deep sleep. We can take the trash out of the brain. We can repair the DNA, increase the telomeres, and produce oxytocin. We can produce the DHEA, the anti-aging hormone. So 1,500 neurochemicals and hormones are going on, renewing and taking care of your body. The factory's coming back online, and you're healing. Just imagine that in your mind's eye as you breathe. It just takes a little bit of time, 3 to 5 minutes at a time to do that, and you will find yourself in heart coherence. I will place this information on Practice Better. I have a book on heart coherence. I have a book on sleep. There's some of the science about the HeartMath. There's an instruction booklet on the HeartMath, and there's a instruction booklet on using the M-Wave and using the inner balance. So if you're a functional medicine patient, you may be coming in to see us very soon. So I wanted to give you an idea of what the HeartMath was like, give you a chance to load the Inner Balance app on your phone. And so when you get here, then we can go right into working with the biofeedback. So I hope this has been helpful today. And I have deep gratitude that you're spending the time with me and that you're giving me the opportunity to serve as your health coach and to walk with you on your journey to health. Have a good day and blessings.